Good morning, good morning. Are all the things functioning? Yes, it looks like it just about is. Very good. All right. Okie dokie. It is a rather sleepy early afternoon in Montreal today. Good morning, Numata. Thank you for joining me on this journey into the Steam charts again. Yes, indeed. All right. Well, it's the 27th of February today. We're going to be looking at the games that came out yesterday on the 26th. Technically, as I often explain on Sundays, the games that we're actually, or on Mondays and Sundays and Mondays, the games we're looking at are not, technically speaking, actually released on the day that it says that they're released on. But that doesn't matter for us because we still have a list to go through. In this case, we have, I think, 18 games? 17 games. 17 games because we're not going to be looking at the red light game, as that's going to get us in trouble. So we have 75 games to do from yesterday, and from last month, we have considerably more. We have 45. All right. Programming note. I think I'm probably going to start doing this stream less. It's taking up a lot of my time. I do enjoy it, but I think I've probably learned as much as I'm likely to from this process. I still want to learn more, but I don't want to just keep doing this mechanically for indefinitely. As interesting as it is, I still enjoy doing it. It's just that I learned a whole lot in the first month, and now I think the amount that I'm learning is sort of diminishing over time. So I am gonna think maybe I'll do it once a week or something. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. I'm gonna keep going for now, but I have not. I'm gonna have to cut back on this because it is taking up like 2 or 3 hours of my day, and like I got stuff to do. So yeah, I don't want to completely stop though, because I think that there is still a value in keeping this in the forefront of my mind. But yeah. Anyway, we'll see. For now, let's see. What are we going to do first? I usually do the shorter list first, so yeah, I think I'll do that. We will be doing our. Oh, these are the incorrect tags. I did not get the tags for today. Let's get the tags. Hold on. There we go. Interesting. We have 17 games for today and 17 single-player games, so no multiplayer games today. Cool. All right. Okie dokie. Yeah, that seems like we're good to start then. And here we go. SteamDB. Badoop. 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 Ah. There we go. Let's arrange things in a pleasing way on the screen. There we go. We can go up here as well. Aha. And then we shrink this down to there. Okay. Let's look at these games for today. We're going to be starting with the games that got no reviews in their first 24 hours and moving on from there. Our first game is Path Reverse. Path Reverse. It is on sale for $1.03, down from $1.29, developed and published by Lost Heart. Okie dokie. In this game, you'll solve puzzles using the ability to reverse the trajectory of objects in order to reach the end. In this game, you can build your own puzzle map. Players can solve puzzles by reversing the movement of objects through obstacles. Okay, interestingly, sort of fuzzy objects there. Yeah, you can reverse them. It's kind of unclear how that's used to solve puzzles, though. We just saw the mechanic working. I mean, we fell through the floor. That's a bit odd. And then the box is on another box. And then we, I guess, reversed through the floor. Why didn't we fall through the floor that time? Yep. Unclear. Okay. We're going to check the rest of the store page. Very simple store page. All right. And now to charts. So, does not look like anyone played this. They got 2 followers, and they went up on the 13th, or on the 11th of February. All right. Will, this one is definitely suffering from the comprehensibility problem. Like, you can understand what it is because they're very clear in the description, so good points on that, but how it will work and how you will actually solve the puzzles, very unclear. So yeah, that's a bit of a problem. All right. Our next game is called Stellar Mess, The Princess Conundrum, Chapter 1. It has picked up no reviews, is on sale for $10.61, down from $11.79, and developed and published by Tiba Games. Tiba Games. Interesting. Stellar Mess is a 2D point-and-click adventure game set somewhere in Argentinian Patagonia. The game is inspired by early classic EGA games of the genre. Okay. Yeah, definitely seeing the inspirations here. They even have the same kind of color palettes. Wow. Yeah, very, very classical. Okay. All right, this is kind of interesting. It has a very simple store page. Okay. I think this one's probably a heartbreaker. Let's check the charts. Yes. Okay, so this went back up on Steam on the 14th of September last year and picked up 78 followers. I'm kind of surprised that they have, at this point, no conversions. I'm guessing that they probably... This may have been released when most of their followers were asleep or something, and they have just not been notified of it yet. Because that's 780 wish lists. Not terrible, not great, but not terrible. Okay, I think my low estimate on this one is going to be 2, because it has 78 followers, and I think my high estimate is going to be 5. I don't know how well a game like this is going to do these days, but I wish them best of luck. It's always interesting to do that kind of deliberately retro design. All right, next game is Vengeful Castle. Also no reviews, on sale for $14.39, down from $17.99, developed and published by Signed Toy Project. Slaying enemies with swords and magic. Break the endless cycle of revenge. Okay. We have a top-down fighting game. Is this a Horde Survivor? Or is it a more classic action RPG? It looks Horde Survivor-y. Yeah, definitely Horde Survivor. Though it was hard to tell at first because the number of enemies was not super high. Pretty good effects work. Very repetitive environments, not necessarily selling me on the idea that this game has a lot of different places that we can go or a lot of flexibility in design. Though those wolves that last time was pretty cool. There were green wolves. They look delicious. Okay. It is an early access. 67 spells, 19 items, 14 enemies. 14 enemies is low. 5 bosses, 3 stages, each with different obstacles. Cool. Okay, let's check their charts. And went up on February 12th. Okay, so this was a mistake on their part, I think. Yeah, bit of a bummer on this one. They're getting some interest. I do think that they're probably a little bit late to the Vampire Survivor-like genre to come in with no story, no unique hook, really, just a 3D Vampire Survivor-like. If this had been released 6 months ago, the story would be very different. They gave themselves no time to build up any followers. Like, they weren't getting a lot, but they were getting some. Yeah, this one's a bummer. Okay. My low estimate is 0. I think my high estimate is going to be 4, which is a bit high for this kind of game, but they do have almost 1 follower per day there. Okay. Moving on to Wizard War VR. Wizard War VR is a MOBA magic shooting game. Kind of a strange capsule there. Oh, it is a MOBA. Okay, I think. Right, there's a tower. It's a tower, that's what we're looking at. Huh, interesting. Okay, you have in-game level ups and stuff that you can buy with gold. You're fighting wizards. Okay, it seems interesting. Low poly art style. But let's see whether or not they told anyone about the game. Only one person playing this, which means it is currently unplayable because it's a multiplayer game. Okay, only went up on December 15th. And I gathered 13 followers in that time, so not very many. It does not look like they told many people about this game, unfortunately. So my low estimate is 0. I think my high estimate, it's got to be 1, because they have no followers, and yeah, it is a VR game, so it has an inherently limited license, like limited number of people. Oh, I didn't mention how much money this cost. This is for $19.49, developed by Tae-hoon Kim and published by Vem. Morning, Shosuke. Yeah. That's a pity. Alright. Best of luck, Tae-hoon Kim. Moving on to 307 Racing. Circuit racing is the common name for several types of car races. Thank you for telling me that. Held on special tracks with hard surfaces. Roads are typically hard, yeah. The main feature of such competitions is that the track has a closed form, ring. Did they just copy this from Wikipedia? What's going on? Also, why is this so slow? I genuinely thought that this was playing in slow motion, but it is not. You're just actually going only 40 kilometers an hour, like not very fast at all. Very weird. Okay. Looks like they did end up getting 1 review in the time that yeah, they do have 1 review. Okay, so this is 307 Racing. They have 1 review for a total of 1. It's on sale for 95 cents, down from 129. Oh, and this is a stunt game. So yes, Stunt makes a couple of these games. Hi, Lucas. How are you doing? Yeah. Okay. Cool. Very short page. All right. Makes sense. Actually, wait. Let's try translating this and seeing what we're seeing. Did not save up for a Chepirka? I don't know what that means. Buy this game and practice. Summer is coming. Time to show what you can do. May the gas, brake, filter, and carburetor be with us. All right. Thanks, my man. All right, cool. I mean, it's $1. What are we really expecting on this one? 1 person played it, and yeah, went up December 6th. So they managed to get 7 followers on this one. Oop, wrong year. What am I doing? There we go. Well, I think I'm going to say that's probably my guess for this one. 1 and 1. All right, best of luck, Stunt. I look forward to seeing you again. Moving on to our next game, which is called R-Lyke. Reverse, which has picked up 1 negative review for a total of 1. It is on sale for $2.59 and is developed and published by R-Lyke Games. Spelt very unusually. R-Lyke? Something like that. Anyway, let's check this one out. Side-scrolling retro 2D shoot-'em-up with roguelite elements. Survivor-style game. Okay. Okay, so this is a... sorry, coughing. This is a space shooter horde survival game. Interesting. We've seen a couple of those. Wow, that's a complicated screen. Let's zoom in and take a look at that one. In countless different ways. Okay. Why is this audio up here? What? Music. Top, bottom, turret. Okay, I think these are places you can put weapons. That makes sense. Interesting. Okay. Let's see one review. I love roguelike shmups. There's not enough of them. The issue here is that the game says it has full controller support, however the controller does not work properly. Secondly, enemies seem to spawn off screen. In the tutorial I thought enemies simply didn't spawn. Then I was aiming randomly, I guess I managed to kill something. Okay, well, interesting. This is the first time that I've seen a side-scrolling version of a horde survival game. Looks like one person played it, and they got 8 followers. All right. Good morning, Para. How's it going? All right. Well, I don't think they gave themselves a great deal of time, and as usual, I think that the window for an easy time in the horde survival genre is has passed. So I don't think they're going to get a whole lot of organic reach on this one. I'm going to say my low estimate is 1. I think my high estimate is going to be 2, maybe? Yeah, I don't think this one's going to do particularly well, but I wish R-Lyke Games the best of luck. Man, you know what I want to see now? I want to see someone do a horde survival game, but take the narrative approach that Hades had, where like you have a narrative environment where there's a bunch of characters that have like cool designs that like change and do stuff as every time you do a run. I think that that would do pretty well. It's basically just taking Hades and doing horde survivor instead of like a door-based or a room-based combat arena game. I think that'd be fun. All right, moving on to Rat Chef. Rat Chef has 1 positive review, no negative reviews, for a total of 1. It is on sale for $3.50, down from $3.89. Developed and published by Adam Samar Debas. And so our first, I think, confirmed solo developer for today. Rat Chef is a culinary adventure. I think you mean culinary, maybe? Where you play as a robotic rat and serve food. Upgrade your kitchen, unlock new maps as you level up. Okay. So we're a robotic rat, and we're serving robotic customers, I think? You have a little waffle iron. It creates a waffle. It was very bare bones, I would say. All right. Are there different environments? Oh, there are different environments. All right. So it looks like you can be inside of a warehouse or inside of wherever that is. Very simple game. As you play through the game, you'll unlock new recipes and maps with fast-paced gameplay and a colorful world. All right, cool. Let's check their charts. All right, this game had someone check it out on Twitch. That's always good to see. They had 2 people playing it at launch. And they got 19 followers. All right, cool. Went up on June 16th. So that's some time ago, last year. And what am I going to guess? Let's see what the positive reviews say. Yep, and incredible. Thanks, you two. Very handy. All right. And so I think I'm going to guess. Low estimate is 1. High estimate is not 100. Though if they do 100, congratulations to them. But yeah, those are going to be my guests. Best luck, Adam Samar Dabas. I'm just going to double check. Have you done anything else before? Nope, this is your first game. Congratulations on your first game. And I look forward to seeing what you do next. All right. Next game is Outer Space Bugs. Outer Space Bugs has 1 negative review and no positive reviews for a total of 1. It is on sale for $2.29. Developed by Jozao and Sabatus and published by Jozao. Windows in the wrong places. Alright, here we go. Outer Space Bugs. Exterminate the bugs that are hidden in the dark side of the moon. A game based on space exploration with a variety of items and monsters. Evil to be defeated, adventures in this space experience, and to destroy them. Alright, we have a third or fourth Horde survival game for today. Yep. This time you're a little spaceman and you're fighting alien bugs. Okay. Looks like you have a directional gun, which is one of the more common variants of this kind of game. Alright. Not in early access. On sale for $2.33. So very, very low. Dozens of different monsters, different weapons, challenging bosses, items that helps the gameplay. Cool. Game is cute and has... Okay, this is a review. Game is cute and has such potential, except the developer has shown an extreme lack of professionalism and honesty towards his paying players and towards the game itself. He closed down his Discord account when too many people visited to ask him to fix the major issues. Oh, wow. Okay, this is a 1.0 release. Huh. Okay. When did this actually come out? That'll be interesting. The issues were regarding bugs, the installation of mouse and gamepad support, and a fix for the slow walking shooting speed that he has deployed. He ignores us on the game discussion page, despite promising he was making fixes to the game. Interesting. Okay, so this is a 1.0 release out of early access, not... When did this actually come out? Maybe here, I guess? Hard to say. Okay, store page went up on the 27th. And picked up 30 followers over time. I think I'm going to say my low estimate is 1. My high estimate is 2. This is disappointing to hear, but I kind of understand developers' reluctance to work on a game project that has probably made them $70, maybe? Yeah, it's a bummer. Both for the people who did end up buying the game and for the developer themselves, right? Being one of a few people who bought a game and experiencing problems with the game and then not being able to get them fixed because it's just not economically viable for the developer, right? If this person spent 20 minutes adding mouse and controller support to the game, they'd never make it back, right? Because they only made $75 maybe. Yeah, bummer. All right. Best of luck, Jozao and Sabatus. I look forward to seeing what you do next. Moving on to Manual Overcycle, which has 2 reviews, no negative reviews. On sale for $6.49. Developed and published by Fallen Fuse Studios. Manual Overcycle is the evolution of bicycle gameplay. With its unique physics-based gameplay, bicycle gamers finally have the expressive controls they have always dreamed of. I wonder what those expressive controls are. Okay, it's in early access. Freedom of expression. Manual Overcycle's physics-based controls don't have any pre-programmed tricks, only the movement through the keyboard keys. It's very weird that they're really selling this on the controls, but they're not showing us doing anything in the video, just cycling. We have a trailer that starts in the menu, I think. Oh, no, we're customizing a bike. Or we're getting a bike? Okay, we are starting in the bike. Oh, they're showing that you have a day and night menu. Okay, are you going to show us doing anything? It definitely looks like you have individual control over your legs. I think that's what they're talking about. All right. Well, let's see. Let's see what their charts say, and then we'll check out their reviews in a second. Only one person played this at a time, and very briefly. They picked up 14 followers, and the store page went up on the 13th of February, so they gave themselves very little time to market. Still, they got decent followers per day off of that. Okay, I think my low estimate is 2. I think my high estimate is going to be 4. There might be something cool in here. It's just a little hard to see from the store page. Game is good. It still needs many updates. Cool graphics, cool physics, decent maps, music. You need to work your UI responsiveness. Cycling demo, not really a game. You can cycle around and have some fun. There's not much more to it. That is kind of what I was getting from the videos. It didn't look like there were challenges or much going on there. So yeah, cool. All right, best of luck following you. Moving on. Ooh, that's not one that happened. There we go. Mr. Matt Hematic is our next game, and it has 3 positive reviews, no negative reviews, for a total of 3. It is a free-to-play game developed and published by Shamuradov Games. Okay, Mr. Mathematic is a short, fun, 2D platformer puzzle game. You must use given mathematical operations to alter the environment so you can move around. To complete a level, you need to reach the black door, which looks like you. That's so strange. Okay, because like they're not actually mathematical operations at all, right? Like you're not doing equations or anything. This is not a learning game. Just using the plus sign lets you add a platform, right? You can duplicate a platform with a plus sign. You can remove a platform with a minus sign. You can increase the size with square, and you can shrink them with square root. So yeah, that's not math. I mean, it's kind of math. You're applying the functions to the area, I guess, maybe. But man, that's weird. That's strange. Crow is here. Hello, Crow. I was hoping this balding was going to teach me betting math. Nope. Well, Crow's weird, as is usual. Huh. Alright, weird. I don't get this one. I'm a little confused. Oh, I added a period. My confusion. I added a period. Okay, one person is playing it now, with 3 at peak. It picked up 8 followers. And went up on the 31st of January. Genuinely unsure how this one got as many reviews as it currently has, but I will say 3, and I mean, it is free, right? And I'm going to say my high estimate is 10. Good luck, Shamaradov Games. Moving on. To Kitten Lost Her Box. A tragedy. All right. It has 5 positive reviews, no negative reviews. For a total of 5, it is on sale for $2.33, down from $2.59. Developed and published by Sadie Makes Games. We have a capsule of a cute kitten trying to get to a box. Oh, this is very cute. Okay. Help Tiny Kitten get back her favorite paper box only with her agile actions. In this tight platformer, Kitten brave handcrafted challenges, meet crew creatures, and finally fight with her old enemy. We don't know who the old enemy is, but I assume the kitten fights with him. The kitten sprite is extremely cute. Just A+ cute kitten design. It looks like you're picking up fish. Okay, well, this looks very cute. Weird, very weird, but cute. Cat sleeping in box. Very good. Okay. A lively and exquisite little platforming game. The operation feels very comfortable. That is, the collision judgment is relatively strict. The graphics are in the style of the GBA era. You can see the shadows of many old games in the levels, and it's quite a simple joy of rubbing the palm of your hand when you were a child. All right, Henry. Catch up. See you soon. All right, very cute. I think this is very good. I like this. Well, let's check the charts on this one. Wow. All right. So they got some Twitch play. Very good. About 500 people played on Twitch, or saw it on Twitch, and they picked up 22 followers. How long did they give themselves? Not a lot of time, but not a little. Kind of middling amount of time of only 30 days. And they got a mixed amount of followers per day. I'm guessing that many of their sales came from this Twitch play that happened a couple of hours ago. That's gonna be my guess, right? 500 people saw it. So, as is usual, it's rough being a platformer on Steam, but this one does look tight enough and honestly cute enough that they probably could have gotten away with it. I think if they had started promotion for this earlier and they had done some more actual promotion-y things, we could be seeing a couple of thousand sales on this one, which might not be worth it because they're only selling it for $2.33, so it's very small. It seems like it's only about an hour long. All right, kind of cool. Interesting little game, but I think I'm going to say high is 20 for me on this one. Yeah. I hope I'm wrong and they sell really well, because this looks adorable. Nice job, Sadie makes games. All right. Our next game for today is Nightly Trash. Nightly Trash, which has 4 positive reviews, 1 negative review, for a total of 5. It is on sale for $6.49, and it's developed and published by H-Bunny. I think we've seen H-Bunny before. You're an average Joe in a 1950s-like aesthetic working at a diner while taking out the trash. Each night has different events as you play through, so keep your eyes open for anything ... off ... Okay. So we have a being the only person at work at night when spooky things happen simulator, which is surprisingly a very common genre of like short form horror games. They're really, really common. Also, wow, that is one of the worst flashlights I have ever seen. Like, not that it's a badly done flashlight, but like it was definitely not working very well. We had a spooky monster here. Let's freeze on that. I think, I don't know if any of you can see this, but it looks like maybe that is a person with slug eyes? I don't know. Low poly environment on the diner, and it's kind of unclear what you'll actually be doing. I guess we have a list of tasks. It's not shown in the trailer. Definitely should have shown that in the trailer, I think. Okay, let's see what people are saying. I love it. It's a great game, and I highly enjoyed it. Thanks, Kitty Star. That's very informative. The atmosphere of the game is gorgeous, as well as the retro graphics. 2 major flaws that ruin the experience. You still gave it a thumbs up, though, so that was nice. The first is related to the task list. Great game, great spooks. Bunny Dev, good game. H-Bunny, have you made other games? No. Okay. Interesting. All right. Let's check the charts. This one also got played on Twitch to a couple of hundred people. Nice. And this one has 14 followers. I think we're definitely seeing the effect of getting picked up by Twitch, right? Both of the last 2 games had very few followers, the kind of followers that would roughly get them, 1 or 2 reviews, 30 or 40 sales, at most. And instead, they have 5 or 6 times as much, right? And that is because they got looked at on Twitch. Just briefly, right? Like this one was played for from 3:20 to 4:10. So like 50 minutes. This game was played for an hour and it sold maybe 200 copies. So it's worth it to get on Twitch if you can. All right. January 9th. Low followers per day. I would say, yeah, that makes sense. I mean, this is clearly clearly a short-form horror game from the visuals, but the drawing is probably not helping very much, and we have no clear hook, right? We don't see a cool monster, we don't see... It's not making any promises other than this is going to be a creeping around in the dark with a flashlight game, which, you know, people do like, but having a hook would help. So, I think my low estimate is going to be 5. And my high estimate is going to be 8 for this one, I think. All right, moving on. 2. Partum Artifex, which has 6 positive reviews, 0 negative reviews for a total of 6. It is on sale for $11.04, down from $12.99. Developed and published by Dalla Koala Games. Dalla Koala. Yeah, I was always intending on doing this for 1 or 2 months, and I'm kind of coming up on 2 months on this one. Yeah, so I am going to eventually stop doing this. I'm not quite sure when. Probably not this week, but maybe next week. I might switch to doing this 1 day a week. Just because, yeah, it's eating up a bunch of my time. I have other stuff I need to do. And other stuff I want to do on YouTube, right? I kind of wanted to make YouTube videos and stuff, but like the time I would be spending on doing that, I'm doing this instead. So yes. All right. So, Partum Artifex, a first-person atmospheric horror puzzle game that focuses on the narrative to tie together the gruesome world of creative puzzles. Explore the mind of a twisted serial killer who wants nothing else than to show off his work of art as they tell his story to the world. Okay, interesting. So it looks like we have a creeping around in the dark game combined with like more explicit puzzles. Oh, they have a narration over the trailer. Interesting. Okay. I think that's a good capsule. We get some story. Oh, we get a personal invitation from the serial killer. That's kind of cool. All right, nice. Let's see. This is more of a puzzle game than a horror game? Yeah, that's what I was getting. Not a lot of scary scenarios or jump scares, but lots of puzzles. An excellent horror experience, well worth a play, especially for the price. Played for 2.5 hours and then went back and played another 2 hours. Nice. Magnificent game. Sorry, no spoilers, working it yourself. People saying it's beautiful. Fun experience. More puzzle than horror. Yeah, so this is a puzzle horror game rather than a horror puzzle game. Yes, yeah, I've been considering trying to try and compress to basically do like a report sort of thing. Like, this is what I have learned from looking at. I looked at all the Steam games for the last 2 months, so you don't have to. And this is what I learned. Something like that. I'm planning on doing something like that. All right. So this one also got play on Twitch. Nice. But for considerably longer. Right? Yeah, that's 4 hours. Yeah, it was on Twitch for a while. Okay. It also has more followers. 146 followers. And went up on July 2nd. So, not much better in terms of followers per day. But they gave themselves enough time to build up a bunch of followers, and they got to 6. Not bad. I think my lowest spend on this one is going to be probably 10. I think my highest spend on this one is going to be 35, I think. Yes, I found the process of doing this to be very interesting. Like, I tend to oscillate on whether or not it's depressing or encouraging, depending on the day. But I mean, there's so many games that come out, so many of them, and so many of them have a lot of love put into them. The ones that that really depress me are the ones that are clearly very cool and have a lot of work put into them, but just nobody has heard of them because the people who made them didn't tell anyone about them, and there aren't a lot of those, right? There's I see maybe one or two of those a week. But when they show up, they're always heartbreaking. All right. Our next game is called q.u.q. It has 12 positive reviews, no negative reviews, for a total of 12. Is on sale for $2.59. Developed by Motijan and published by Nikita Krukov. Okay. Genuinely no idea what this game is going to be. At all. None. Always fun. It's kind of like opening a puzzle box. Wow, alright, it's a visual novel. Nice! q.u.q is a surreal visual novel about a somewhat crude girl that wanders a desert and talks to, wow, that is, I think, a bathtub that is also a buff bird. Fantastic. Alright, digging the art here. Curiously, there's no trailer. This person just did not put up a trailer. They just put up their cool artwork. Extremely tiny store page. There's 9 endings apparently. And many ways to die a stupid death. Always good. Yes, the art style is kind of reminiscent of Girl Last Tour. Short but interesting VN with 9 endings, most of which seem to be instant bad ends. Nice. Very nice bite-sized visual novel for any surrealist enthusiast. Another great game from Nikita. Actually, The Rock. Not quite, I don't think. All right, cool. So this is kind of cute. Let's see what their charts look like. All right, 2nd of February. So give themselves very little time. Let's see how many followers did they pick up. Quite a few. And I think, as we can see, this one is mostly, I think, on the strength of the art. I wonder if I'm going to do a brief Google to see if they're doing promotion elsewhere. Okay, the name means something. This is interesting. The ways for life to be cute and not eat your roommate because they ate your kiwi. Oh, it's the crying emoji. Right? It's the smile crying. Okay. Okay. That explains it. I get it. All right, very cute. Okay, what am I going to guess? I'm going to say low estimate is 20. I think my high estimate on this one is 40, probably. Best of luck, Motijan. Moving on. To Lord of the Other World, which has 15 positive reviews, 3 negative reviews, for a total of 18. It is a free-to-play game developed and published by Fife Games, or FYF Games. This game is a more casual strategy wargame. It bids farewell to the endless confrontation between players in traditional strategy games, more emphasis on collaboration between players. Okay. We have a cute anime girl, and a castle, and a sword. So we definitely know who we're marketing to here. The art style of the buildings is very charming. It's a little bit hard to tell what's happening, though. I think there's a fight there, and a fight here. Who are our people? Who are the enemies? What are we doing? And also, why are we sticking on this one fight for so long in the trailer? Okay, we're just gonna stick here the whole trailer, huh? We're just gonna see this one fight? Yep. 2 minutes of one fight. All right, cool. Shuttle the mainland, free trade. Okay, I think they probably needed maybe to get an English localization expert to go over their page a bit. Okay, is this a 1.0 release? No, this is into early access. Here we go. Don't get baited by the petite anime ladies. This is like Stronghold, but the Chinese version of it. I wonder if the rat has an overpowered wall again. I don't know what Crow's on about, but I assume that Stronghold is a game that other people might know about. Alright, let's check their charts. I think this is a gacha game. Right? Free to play, anime girls. It's a good guess. But it's like gacha strategy? They've got an oscillation of players, but pretty decent. They got about 50 people playing it already. Let's see, 75 followers, not many. Did they just not put up this game? Okay, this has to be a port, right? Has to be a port. Yes, it is a gacha game. Hard to say. Okay, yeah. So this is a port. Android iOS came out 2 years ago in March. All right, cool. And now it's on Steam. Interesting that I wonder if this is just something that has been happening continuously and I'm just seeing them now because this is when I'm looking at the games, or if gacha, like porting to Steam, has just been something that gacha games have recently started doing, because I've seen 20 or 30 of them in the 2 months I've been doing this, so there's quite a few. What am I going to guess for this one? I think my lowest estimate on this one is going to be 30. I think my high estimate on this one is going to be much, much higher, because these gacha games, like, they do promotion. So I think I'm going to say my high estimate is 200. All right. Moving on to Royal Merchant. Royal Merchant has 23 positive reviews to 14 negative for a total of 37. It is on sale for $8.04, down from $11.49, developed and published by Badim. Or Badim. Hard to say. Blending together traditional RPG systems, tycoon mechanics, and a fantasy overworld, you will manage a team of heroes, crafters, and your own castle. Okay. This is kind of saying idle game to me. Oh, it's not. Well, it kind of is. It looks like you assign heroes to, like, particular enemies. Like these two heroes are maybe on a quest to fight this guy. You can sacrifice sheep, apparently. That's rather sad. Sheep are nice. Interesting. All right. I'm guessing the whole game takes place in that menu. This game is broken. Let's see. Is this coming out of early access? Right. This is an out of early access release. It's a 1.0 release. Let's see. Did they do a... They did do a release for this. So there is a 1.0 patch. Turns out this is a free app for Google Play. Interesting. So it is a port of an idle game for Google Play. We are seeing some people playing this for a very long time. I'm kind of surprised at the number of relatively low numbers for the reviews. Usually idle games, like, everyone's played for 500 hours or something, right? All right, let's check this out. 4 people are playing it now. All right, 402 followers. Wow. This has to be the early access release, right? I mean, it seems like they may have just put it up and released it on the same day. That is a steep climb there. All right. August 30th. 2019. So they've been around for a while. And that means that they have very low followers per day. They are unlikely to get additional reviews. So I'm going to say, yeah, my low estimate is 37. I think my high estimate is going to be 38. Historically speaking, with the longer something is in early access, the less their release matters. And in this case, with the fact that they have mixed reviews, I don't see anyone else picking this one up. All right, Pest of Luck by Dim. And our last game for today is Limbus Company. Limbus Company, which I would guess is probably also coming out of early access. It is a free-to-play game by Project Moon. It has 1,901 positive reviews to 224 negative reviews for a total of 2,125. As the executive manager of Limbus Company, lead your group of 12 sinners, capital S, venture into the buried facility of Lobotomy Corporation and lay claim to the Golden Vows. Wait, this is the Lobotomy Corporation game? I've played Lobotomy Corporation. Okay, this is made by the Lobotomy Corporation people. Lobotomy Corporation is sort of an SCP kind of management sim game where you're managing these dangerous artifacts that are doing horrible things. Reference to clowns. Lots of warnings on this. Alright. We have a sort of monstery thing. What are we looking at here? Okay. We have an anime guy looking sadly at a tablet. Always fun. Are you going to show us the game, though? I mean, the art here is nice, but what's the game? Okay, they're really focusing on narrative here, I think. The art's great, right? This is a good cinematic trailer. But at least for me, it's not really telling me much. Nope, we are not going to see gameplay. Okay, let's see. Do they have other? They have other trailers that may have gameplay. All right, cool. All right, here we go. Wow, and they just changed perspective. Okay, no, this is always for perspective. Okay, so this is a RPG combat game, I'm guessing? It's a little hard to see what's happening or how the player is interacting with this. Huh. Okay. Looks like it's mostly this kind of combat system. Looks like the combat gets very elaborate. Combination of turn-based RPG and real-time brawl. Each turn results in a display of exhilarating action. During the scramble, characters targeting each other may clash with a capital C. The outcomes of a clash depends on the strength of their opposing skills. Huh. This is very weird, because like the original Lobotomy Corporation is like very much so just a management game. This is free to play too. I'm guessing this is maybe a gacha game? Let's see, hold on. Limbus Sweep, 12th Annual Sanpyobi meeting. Face the gacha. Yeah, okay, so it is another gacha game. Alright, so they took Lobotomy Corporation, which was sort of like a grimdark management simulator, and they made a gacha game out of it. Alright. Fair enough. I hate games as service, I hate games as service. Story so far is great, but I'd much rather pay $60 for a regular game. I really wish Steam had mixed reviews. I think the thing with if Steam gave people mixed reviews is that would be all they would get. Alright. Well, let's check their charts. I'm fascinated by this one. Wow, 13,000 people already playing it with 23,000 at peak. So not doing badly. 9,000 followers, so they are already well over their follower count. And they gave themselves very little time, but I guess they didn't need it. Lobotomy Corporation was one of those like sort of niche, but very, very successful within its niche, right? 21,000 reviews for that one. And then I didn't play this one. This is their other game, which I think is also, yeah, it's also wildly successful. And wow, that looks very similar. This looks like almost the same kind of combat system, except it's cards. Huh, interesting. All right, cool. I should look into this company more. Anyways, what are my estimates here? Well, within a month, I'm going to say my low estimate for this is probably, based on their other games, I think my low estimate on this one is 10,000. I think my high estimate on this one is, what am I thinking? I think my highest estimate on this one is 23,000. Anyway, best of luck, Project Moon. I am kind of disappointed to see them going into the games as service gacha game market, but those make a ton of money. I get it. All right, so that is it for our reviews for the games for today, or looking at those today. We had, are these the correct numbers? They are. All right. So we only had 5 games with no reviews, which is relatively low, 26.32%. We had no rocket chips. We had nothing in silver spoon or above tier. Mostly hamburger and glass of milk, as usual. All right. Well, I'm going to take a bit of a sip, and then we're going to come back and we're going to go and just check in on the games that we looked at last month. Thank you all for hanging out today. I'll be back in a second. All right. Okay, dokie. Let's do our check-ins, everybody. Indeed. Okay, here we go. Our first game we're going to check in on is called 8 Ball 3. It had no reviews day of, and I guessed that it would get to 2, and it has. Look at me being all accurate. Oh, right. I remember this. So this is the third game in the 8 Ball series of games by this person called One Buck. They have done a bunch of other games, at least 2 of them, about just being a little 8 ball person with legs, and they're all platformers, and they're all like vaguely different and all equally strange. Yeah, glass of milk tier. They probably made maybe $60 to $70 on this one. All right. I thought this game was so funny when I saw it. All right, cool. Moving on. Agent Roy's Zombie Hunt. Right. This was a game that also had no reviews when it came out. I guess it would get to 7, and it has gotten to 11. So good job, them. Right. I seem to remember that these guys did a bunch of other... Yes, they did another one called Ancient Roy Secure the Temple, where you were the same guy, apparently just shooting people in a different environment. In this one, you're shooting zombies in a kind of dark village environment. They got to 11 reviews, so I was down by a bit, but not a huge amount. They got to low cat tier on this one. Nice job. All right, moving on to our next game, which is called Akari School Trip. Right, which was a rather bizarre little horror game. It had 2 reviews day of. I guess it would get to 3, but actually it turns out that one of the reviews from the first day was a review from someone who received the game for free, so they actually only end up with 1 review. They are solidly in hamburger tier. Right, but I remember this game was delightful because they have this. This game releases with its own manga, so you can read the comic. Like when you get the game, you can read the comic in the game, which I thought was a very cute idea, and I might actually steal that idea. I quite like it. I might put a comic in my game when I make one, just because I thought that was a very cool idea. Thank you, Akari School Trip, for that cool idea, and best of luck ongoing. Our next game is called Boom Adventures. Boom Adventures. which had no reviews day of, and I guess it would get no reviews, and it has no reviews. This is a VR game where you're like throwing balls at crabs, I seem to remember. Yeah, you're throwing balls at crabs, or throwing crabs at crabs? Throwing ducks at crabs, that's what it is. Yes, you're throwing rubber ducks at crabs. So, yep, that's Boom Adventures. Okay, moving on to Death in the Water 2. Yes, right. This is the extremely well animated underwater horror killing the sharks game, where you kill sharks and sometimes get attacked by a giant kraken. I thought this was just fantastically well executed, this game, though I was a little disappointed that the context for the actual gameplay, where you're basically just like going down and trying to find 3 treasure chests, was kind of disappointing. I was really hoping that this would end up being sort of like another Subnautica, where you're actually like following a narrative, but no, you're kind of just getting treasure chests and occasionally getting eaten by sharks. Still very cool. Looks like it's done quite well. It had 155 reviews day of. I guess it would get to 267, and it has blown past that by about half. It's all the way up to 537, putting it solidly in rocket ship tier, one of the very rare rocket ship games, having made somewhere between maybe $300,000 and $600,000. So really good job on that part. Fantastic execution on an idea. Just really, really, really solid graphics on this one, and animation. And also, like, I'm gonna see if I can find the bit with the sharks eating. So yeah, wait. Here, getting this to look good, this many characters like all on top of each other, very, very hard. Like, technical animation challenge here. And yeah, the sharks are clipping through each other a little bit, but not very much, and it looks really good. So, yeah, hats off to them on a technical execution front. All right, next game is called Deathtide Survivors, which had 4 reviews day of, and I guessed would get to 20, and they got to 19. So I was also remarkably accurate again. Hooray! This is a Horde Survivor game, another one of the 3D Horde Survivor games, but it looked like it kind of got the feeling of the action really, really well on this one. That said, I think that if this game came out now, like a month later, I don't think it would do as well, right? We saw so many Horde Survivor games come out now that the bar for what the minimum viable product for a Horde Survival game is has gone steadily up just in the 2 months that I've been doing this, right? So they did get to 20, putting them in low cat tier. They've made maybe $3,000 off of this game. All right, moving on to Donut or Cookie. I do remember Donut or Cookie. It was very memorable. It is a very, very strange little puzzle game where you can transform a donut into a cookie and vice versa. The donut rolls, the cookie does not. And so that's the game. It's very strange. You have to get them into you have to get at least one donut into a bag, I think. Anyway, I thought it was a clever little idea in terms of a puzzle game, so I thought it would get 2 reviews. It had no reviews day of. It still has no reviews. I think it's kind of a bummer, because, like, I get it. It is what it looks like, but also, I don't know. I thought it was a clever little idea. Very strange, but all right. Moving on to Dread Templar, which was a retro boomer shooter about killing demons with awesome guns and looking cool while doing it. It was coming out of early access, so yeah, this was its 1.0 release, and as usual for 1.0 releases at this point, I was significantly overestimating them. Now, it had 724 reviews day of. I guess it would get to 1,000, and I was very incorrect. And as usual, it was because I did change my my reporting style to more accurately record the Steam review numbers as they are reported on Steam. So if we were going from where I was originally getting the values from, which was here, they would have gotten to 900. So they did get some additional sales from this. But yeah, unfortunately, because of the change in how I'm reporting stuff for this game, it looks like they actually lost reviews. Still, they're solidly in rocket ship tier, like low rocket ship tier, somewhere between 270,000 and 500,000 in revenue or something. Not bad, though. Maybe not as good as they would have wanted. It looks like this game had like a lot of work put into it, and it was in early access for quite a while. Still, good job them. Our next game is Ember Fate. Ember Fate had 4 reviews day of, and right, yes, okay. I also remember this one. This was the MMORPG visual novel. So it's a visual novel about you and your friends playing an MMO. I thought that was such a funny idea, but I underestimated them. I guessed that they would only get to 10 reviews, and they have gotten to 52, so pretty good. It is free to play, so that I think contributed. But I'm very impressed by this game, that it did this well. Yeah, nice. Good on you for proving me wrong. Wind Chimes Games Limited. All right, moving on to our next game, which is called EX_Holix.exe, which had no reviews day of. I guess it would get to 2, but it has picked up none. So leaving it with no reviews. Right. Yeah, this is another one of the ones that was instrumental in teaching me, or I think this is when I actually started talking about the comprehensibility gap problem, where it is impossible to tell really what's going on here. Like I think you're flying and shooting enemies, but what the enemies are, what they're doing, what you're doing, are you succeeding or failing during any of this? Where is your health? Where is ammo? None of it is clear. And so, yeah, I think that people did not respond to it, unfortunately. Despite the fact that obviously a lot of work went into this, like obviously a lot of work and thought went into this. Someone put in some time on this, and they got no response because you can't really see what's going on or understand it. And if you can't do that, people won't buy it. All right, next game is Flight Path. Right. Yes. Okay. This was a shmup where there is actually like a narrative. So this is a shmup game with a narrative where you're playing this cute little bunny girl who blows people up with her spaceship. I don't know what the actual narrative is, but I thought that was a cool idea to mix those two things together. I've seen a couple of shmups with stories before, but none where like the characters are like talking to you on the screen or something like this one. I thought it was very cute. It had 2 reviews day of. I thought it would get to 5, and they proved me wrong. They got to 7, leaving them in cat tier, but getting up there, somewhere in the $3,000 to $4,000 revenue range on this one. Yeah, tricky. Hard to market a shmup these days, I think. All right, next game is Galp. Right, which is a little Sukkabon game with not Luigi. It had 3 reviews day of. I guess it would stay at 3, and I was incorrect. It got to 4. It was a free to play game though. So yeah, cute little Sukkabon game. Moving on. Next one is Garden Inn. Garden Inn. Right. Which was just about like planting cool plants in plant pots and building a room. It had some really, really nice little, very bubbly art. I thought it was very cute. And yeah, you basically just water plants, aimed at being like relaxing and cozy. It had 34 reviews day of. I guess it would get to 100, and it almost got there. It's at 92. So I'm very convinced that this game will keep doing relatively well. This is the kind of game that I think will have a long tail. People will just be like, yeah, I want to look for a gardening game. They'll find this one, and it looks very cool. So yeah, they're in Silver Spoon tier. Revenue somewhere between 20 and 30,000. Not bad. Okay, moving on to Grund. Grund. I don't remember this one as much. I've had a pretty solid memory of the games for today, and this one, not so much. It looks like a horror adventure game, like side-scrolling adventure game. It had 14 reviews day of. I guess it would get to 60, and it has unfortunately not gotten there. It has stuck at about 19 reviews, putting it in cat tier, and Maybe not making back the money it cost to make it. It is very, very pretty looking though. Bummer. Okay. Our next game is Haunting of the Evil Spirit, Choose Your Own Adventure novel. No reviews day of. I guess it would get to none, and it has stuck around at none. Which was this rather... Right, yes, oh my god, this is so weird. It's clearly using RenPy. But why have this in your trailer? Why have fast forward in your trailer? So strange. No characters, so it's a visual novel with no characters. Yeah, very, very odd little idea. Okay, moving on to our next game, which is called Hellslayer, which was another Horde survival game. And this one did not do as well as the other one, because it was very, very similar to Vampire Survivors. Or actually, you know what? Genuinely, I'm not really sure why this one didn't do as well as the other one. The enemy characters don't animate, and they seem to all function very, very similarly. I don't know. It had one review day of. I guess it would get to 3, but it got to 6, so it did surprise me on that one, but not by much. It's still in hamburger tier. Revenue is somewhere between maybe $700 and $1,000, somewhere around there. All right. Right. Hood Warfare. I remember this. It was a very bizarre game about gang warfare, I guess. It had 5 reviews day of. I guess it would stay at 5, and I was incorrect. It got all the way up to 17. Leaving it in hamburger tier, but higher end hamburger tier on this one. Okay, Hypershapes. Do I remember this one? Oh, okay, yes. Kind of? This reminds me of Titan Souls, but like a minimalist Titan Souls. I think this is a new trailer, because I don't remember this trailer, but I do remember this game being a little confusing, and it looks like they have made this game considerably less confusing in the trailer, I think. It had 2 reviews day of. I guess it would get to 7? They almost got there. They got to 6, but that does leave them in hamburger tier. So, yes. Our next game is I Commissioned Some Bunnies. This is part of the I Commissioned Some Blank series. In this case, bunnies, where you just go around and click on bunnies in the picture. And the people who like these games really love them, because they are just very cute and relaxing. It had 7 reviews day of, and I guess it would get to 20, and they proved me wrong. They got all the way to 30, leaving it in cat tier somewhere around $3,000, which for a very simple little game like this, yeah, very cute. These games are so funny. All right. Our next game is In the Dark, which was, if I'm remembering correctly... No, it wasn't. Oh, it was this very, very weird... like, this is a card battler where you're like card battling against zombies, and then like when you move around, you get to like pick which direction you go in, kind of like Myst. It's very, very odd. It had 2 negative reviews day of. I guess it would get to 3 reviews, and it did, because I'm very good at my job. And was not guessing wildly in the dark. The 1 negative review in English is "didn't work, sad face," which I think was the one which was one of the reviews that was their first day. So, yeah, a bit of a strange one. All right, next one is Inhabit, which had 5 positive reviews day of. Right, I do remember this one. All right, which is where you're someone with depression, and then you like go and you meet cute anime girls who represent different positive habits that you can pick up if you're depressed. So like cleaning your room and opening your windows are represented both by puzzles and by cute anime girls who like talk to you and help you out. Like this is exercise, right? very on the nose little game. It had 5 positive reviews day of. I guess it would get to 17. They got to 18, putting them in the middle of hamburger tier. I thought the art was delightful, but the premise was so twee. Anyway, glad to see they're doing okay, I guess. All right. Next game is Juno New Origins. Right. This was a physics simulation building game, kind of like Kerbal Space Program, but without the humor. This was a 1.0 release out of early access. Yeah. Officially left early access on Steam. This game was in early access from 2018 or something. Very, very long time in early access. It had 1,832 reviews day of. I guess it would get to 2167, and I was incorrect. Again, as usual, I was still overestimating number of game sales out of early access, and instead they only gained another 33 reviews or so. That still puts them at the upper end of rocket ship tier, which is appropriate for a game about rocket ships, having a revenue somewhere between 900,000 and like 1.2 million. Good on them. Next game is Meteor Commander, which had no reviews day of. I guess it would get to 1, and it did, which was a little, basically just asteroids. It was basically just the asteroids game, but with modern graphics. That's about it. All right, next one is New Witch in Town. Right, which is a Choice of Games game about being a witch. Curiously, it seems to be getting only negative reviews. It had 3 negative reviews day of. I guess it would get to 40, but this is when I was wildly overestimating the Choice of Games games. Instead, they only got to 11, 9 of which are negative. I can't remember why this is so negative. It's boring, dull, it's mid, but you don't really do much witching stuff. It's about environmental conservation? I mean, environmental conservation is cool, though. It's mostly talking to people. So, yeah, okay. There's no, like, primary complaint. It's just, like, a lot of people found this game kind of boring, which is too bad. That's gotta sting. All right. Moving on to Onion Assault. Onion Assault. Right, which was this kind of Mario 2-like game where you're a little guy with a pompadour going around, like, picking stuff up and throwing them at enemies. It had 7 reviews day of, and I thought it would do considerably better than it did, unfortunately. It got to, I estimated it would get to 67, and unfortunately it only got to 14, so it only doubled what it had on day 1. Which is a bummer, because that means that its revenue is somewhere around $3,000, which is pretty low for a game that has quite a bit of polish and some cool, funny ideas. Like you can pick up a tank and throw the tank at its own bullet. Just, you know, it's pretty polished, but it's rough being a platformer on Steam these days. All right. Our next one is Path of the Player, or of a Player. Path of a Player is apparently loosely based on solo leveling. Man, the story on that one is really sad. This had no reviews day of. I guess it would get to 2, but it has in fact only gotten to 1, unfortunately. It was a little RPG Maker RPG thing, where, if I remember correctly, in the video, it only ever shows you fighting bats. Yes. Yeah, more bats. Yeah, more bats. It was just bats. There were only bat enemies in the trailer. I assume that there are other enemies in the rest of the game, but it was mostly bats. Also, the review is saying still early in development, which unfortunately, I mean, this is the final version of the game, right? It's out on Steam, so bit of a bummer. All right. Next game is Pizza Tower. Pizza Tower, which is this absolutely gonzo Wario Land-like game where you play as this Italian guy making pizzas. It's like absolutely buck wild kinetic platforming and very, very successful. Hi, CC. We're just about finishing up. You're a little late, but that's okay. I'm delighted to see you here anyways. So yeah, this is just very gonzo, and has done extremely well. It had 822 reviews day of. I guess it would get to 5,000, and it has blown past that. It is at 7,124 today, putting its revenue solidly in the middle of Diamond Tier, or, in Diamond Tier, because Diamond Tier does not have an upper end. But yeah, this is a Diamond Tier game, somewhere in the range of $4 to $5 million in revenue. Really, really well, really, really good. One of my good friends is in the middle of playing this, and they're having a good time. It's really nuts. Love the art style, extremely cool. Okay, moving on to our next one, which is called Playback Trauma in Sickness. Oh, right, yeah. The person who made this game actually contacted me about this. Which is, and yeah. It is a little visual novel where it has this very curious little art style, and it's kind of a horror game about trying to get back to Jersey Shore, I think. Yeah. It had no reviews day of. I guess it would get to 2, but unfortunately it does not look like it has picked up any more sales. It is still at 0. So a bit of a bummer. I did still like the art style, where it's white lines on black. I thought that was kind of cool. All right. Next game is Power Chord, which was, right, this is a card-based battler based on heavy metal music. And it had 22 reviews day of. I guess it would get to 133, and it didn't quite get there. It actually really didn't get there. It only got to 73. I seem to remember my criticism of this one was mostly that the enemies looked repetitive. Like, it didn't look like there was enough variety, and that seems to be borne out by the reviews. There isn't any music. That's kind of a bummer. Lack of variety. That was kind of what I was getting from the trailer when we watched the trailer, because it seemed like you fought the same demons like 5 times in the trailer, which is a bad sign, right? If you have variety in a trailer, that's when you show it off. So if you're not showing it off, you probably don't have variety, and it doesn't sound like they did, which is a bit of a bummer. Still, they did get to 73 total sales, putting them in Silver Spoon tier with a revenue of somewhere around $40,000. Okay. Moving on to Purge Force 2070, which was an incredibly dark, like just visually dark, top-down shooter where you're shooting like naked dudes on a space station, I seem to remember. It had no reviews day of. I guess it would get to 1, but instead it stuck at 0, so it does not look like anyone played this game. This game is maybe the only game I think that just loses out on comprehensibility by the fact that it is so dark that you can't see anything. Anyways, we're gonna move on to Rogue Blaster. That's what I want. Okay, Rogue Blaster, which had 2 reviews day of, and I guess we get to 7, and I got to 8. Very good. This was a tower defense game where you're the tower. It's basically like an FPS game where you can't move. I realized that what this reminded me of after I looked at it was it reminded me of the asteroid shooting sections in the original Dead Space 1, where you were just trying to shoot things that were coming towards you. Yeah, so I did underestimate them by a little, leaving their revenue somewhere around $1,000 for this one. Good on them. Looks pretty cool. All right, moving on to Rogue Station, which was, right, a spaceship building game. Going into early access, it had not very many followers and only 10 reviews day of. I guess it would get to 167 reviews, which it did not. It only got to 33. So I did underestimate it, but the fact that they did get some tells me that this game might continue to sell. Like, this game might have a long tail. You can see from playtimes that people have like 19 hours, 25 hours, even this person reviewed it very early and then went back and played 6 more hours, right? So long play times on this one. I think they might keep doing well. They might get to that 167 eventually, but for now they are only at 33. All right. Next game is Roller Drama, which has 4 reviews day of. and was about a roller derby team. It was sort of a sports management slash visual novel mashup. It had 4 reviews day of. I guess it would get to 83 based on this company's previous successes. They had other games that were similar, and I think they did better. Yeah, they got to 60, and I thought that they would do pretty good. And unfortunately, I was incorrect. They only got to 7 so far, at least. So not in Silver Spoon tier at all. They are only in Cat tier, unfortunately. Despite that, still really, really love the art style. I thought it was very cute, and had a fun idea, because roller derby is cool. All right, next game is Roxroria, an Island of Treasures. I have no memory of this place. Which is this game, apparently. It had no reviews day of, and I guess it would get to no reviews, and it has no reviews. So that's Roxroria, an Island of Treasures. Next game is Stay Human. A hex-based procedurally generated cityscape. Okay, right. This was hex-based zombie survival. It had turn-based combat. This is actually like a turn-based combat screen, I think. It had no reviews day of. I guess it would get to 2, and it has gotten to 6, so I underestimated them. 6 all positive. So people do like this game. I'm very surprised. I didn't expect to like it, but I do. Way more fun than it has any right to be. I hope the dev becomes more responsive, as I think a lot can be done with this system. So, yeah, looks like this one has cool mechanics, but maybe suffering from a limited aesthetic sense on this one. I think that might be kind of what's holding it back. Still, they did do considerably better than I thought, so good on them. Next game is Stick Bros. Stick Bros, okay, which has no trailer. I also don't remember these guys. Yeah, it's a free-to-play game. It had 1 review day of. I guess we get to 2, and it has gotten to 6. I think it's a stick-person fighting game, maybe? I don't know. Hard to say. No trailer. All right, next game is Stronga Birds, or Stonga Bird. Stonga Bird, yes, Stonga Bird, okay. Which is Flappy Bird. Yeah, it's just Flappy Bird, I think. Yep, just Flappy Bird. 2 reviews day of. I guess it would stay at 2, but I was incorrect. People like Flappy Bird, apparently. Like Flappy Bird, but with more hazardous waste. Neat. They got all the way to 8, putting them into hamburger tier, giving them a revenue of somewhere around $200. Next game is Supermando, which was this sort of Super Mario kind of original Game Boy sort of game. It had no reviews day of. I guessed it would get to 1, but I was wrong. It stuck around at 0, so does not look like anyone played this one. Okay, moving on to our next one, which is The Adventurers Domain Online. Right, which was a low poly MMO game, I guess? Yep. It was just a very generic low poly MMO. It had 21 reviews day of. I guess it would get to 83, and I was incorrect. I underestimated it. It did better than I thought, getting to 116. That did leave it in Silver Spoon tier, which is about where I estimated it would, and has made somewhere between $50,000 and maybe $60,000 so far. Cool, cool, cool. All right. Now we have a couple of games that originally had no reviews, which is, our first one is Way of the Tiger, which is a Gremlin Graphics fighting game port of some games from the CPC Spectrum, and or the CPC Computer and Spectrum. I don't know why I'm having trouble with that today. Anyways, they had no reviews. I guess they would get to 1, but instead they stuck around at none. Still, good job on Gremlin Games for preserving some old games. Then we had a Casual Arts hidden object game, which had no reviews day of, still has no reviews. I don't know how casual arts makes money. I'm still confused by that. Moving on to our next one, which is Vradark's Revenge. I don't remember this one, but apparently you're a little wizard who shoots fireballs at people. All right, cool. Yeah, action RPG where you're a little wizard and you shoot fireballs at people. It had no reviews day of. I guessed it would get to 7, and I was incorrect. It only got to 1, unfortunately. That does put it in hamburger tier at a revenue of about $400. All right. Next game is Warmonium. Warmonium had no reviews day of. I guess it would get to 2, and it has more than doubled that. It has got to 4, putting it into cat tier. I remember being confused by the trailer because they didn't show any gameplay. They showed the hex board and the characters, but none of the gameplay. So maybe the gameplay is really good in this one. I don't know. It appears to be similar to HeroEscape, based on a review. Okay. Next game is Warplanes Over the Pacific, which was a coming out of early access game, I think. Yes. A VR game about being a warplane over the Pacific, apparently. It had 94 reviews day of. I guess it would get to 400, but that was, again, while I was still wildly overestimating the value of a 1.0 release for an early access game. Instead, they only got 3 additional reviews, leaving them in Silver Spoon tier, which is a bit of a bummer. Okay. And our last game was very strange. I do remember this one. This is Firecrackers and Fireworks, which is just setting off firecrackers and fireworks in a little village. But it has done quite well. It had 22 total reviews day of. I guess it would get to 87, and it didn't quite get there, but it did get some more. It got to 35, putting it in cat tier with a revenue of somewhere between $3,800 and maybe $4,000. And that's it for our review. Actually, not quite, because we do have to calculate totals, how much things changed based off of my reviews versus what they did actually end up with in a month. So let's grab these and see if my tendency of overestimation continues. So we actually have to get to 52. There we go. And this one needs also to get to 52. 52. All right. So that is kind of interesting. One game that I estimated would be in Diamond. What did I estimate would be in Diamond? Oh, I guess this is probably a red light game. I'll turn those on. We can see their names at least without things getting too upset, I don't think. So, right. Juno's New Origins, I thought would be a diamond tier, just eking over $1 million, but it looks like it may have just fallen short of that one. But we had 2 additional rocket ship tiers. That's interesting. Leading us to 3. So I seem to have mostly been overestimating Silver Spoon games and underestimating how many games would end up in hamburger. So I think a lot of the games that I thought would be spoon tier ended up either in cat tier or hamburger tier. Because we have oh wait, no, more games ended up in cat tier. Sorry, I can't read my own chart. A positive number means that there are more of them than I expected, and a negative number means there are less. So there were more rocket ships and cats and glasses of milk than I expected, and considerably fewer hamburgers and spoons. I don't think there's a particular trend there, just interesting. All right. That's going to do it for me today. Stretching. Important to do that before you start streaming. Thank you all for coming on this journey with me, and I'm glad that some of you are finding it useful and encouraging to hear me go through all these games over and over again every day. I wish you all a very happy Monday afternoon, and I will see you tomorrow. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.